Hey everyone, Vala here with a tag that I am once again super late for, but that's the usual around here. This is the halfway to Halloween tag started by Happy Haunts Library. I was tagged by Trish, the Witch of the Dismal Swamp. Please go over to Trish's channel right now and give her all the love, all the love. Trish is always sharing like interesting stuff, educational stuff, fun little tidbits. She has a great collection of books that she likes to read from and has a lot of experience in the wild and witchy world. Give Trish a like, a thumbs up, and a subscribe. April 31st marked the halfway point to next Halloween. And if you got a little spooky in your soul like me, it is never too early to start getting ready. So let's get into the spirit of the season with our first question. Are you a fan of haunted houses? Ooh-hoo-hoo. Which kind of haunted house are you talking about? If you mean the real kind that we believe are actually haunted by once living human spirits, then yes. Yes, I've actually lived in quite a few of them, including this house, and I've been pretty fond of everyone. If you mean the like fakey tourist attraction haunted house designed to scare the kids, then yes, I also love those too. I get really excited for them. With the understanding that they're not all created equal. Now that I've been to quite a few of them and I've kind of seen the really bad cheap ones versus ones that are really well done, it's easy to tell when someone puts their heart and soul into something like that. We went to one this past year. I'll have to look up the name of it for you. It's down in Virginia Beach in Virginia, and it was probably the best haunted house setup I have ever seen. Very obviously, this was a passion project for someone. They run 4 different haunted houses at one time. One of them is actually a haunted hayride, and they're long, first off. It takes more than 5 minutes to get through them. And it is very immersive, very spooky. There's a combination of like jump scares and little details that you kind of only notice if you go through 2 or 3 times or if you spend your time really looking for them. Really awesome visual effects. They got noise, they got fog, they got all the fun stuff. Cannot recommend highly enough. Question 2 is, what is your favorite ghost story or haunted lore? Oh my goodness, I will probably be laying awake all night tonight thinking of new stories and new lore that I've heard. That are like, I love ghost stories in general. I love scary stories in general. It's really hard for me to pick just one, and I've probably forgotten more ghost stories than I have time for in a video. You know what I mean? So I'll be, 2 o'clock this morning, I'll think of like 10 more in great detail. But for now, I think I do have to say I love ghost love stories as a category. Shh, don't tell anybody. I got a little bit of a romantic streak in me. I love stories where people are either trying to find each other or they're waiting for each other. This couple has been together for 50 years and they make a pact that when one of them dies, the other will stay in the house until the other comes over, that kind of a thing. Or there's a local story concerning the swamp back here where 2, I'm going to have to look it up and maybe make a different video kind of running through the whole thing with you. But the gist is there was a native couple way back in the day, and it was kind of a Romeo-Juliet situation where their respective tribes didn't want them together. So they eloped. They ran away into the swamp to be together one night, but some misfortune befell them. The young lady died. The young man died looking for her. And to this day, it's said that you can find their spirits wandering the swamp and they're trying to come together, but they never quite get there. That kind of thing is so bittersweet and sad and tragic and romantic. And oh my God, it makes me melt so much. Next up, do you plan on Halloween decor hunting this year? If so, what items do you hope to find? I do not actually hunt for Halloween decor anymore. It used to be a dream of mine to be that house, that house at the end of the street that does up the whole lawn as like a graveyard, and the garage is a mini haunted house, and there's skeletons on the roof and a giant spider over here, and the kids have to go through an obstacle course full of lights and fog and stuff to get to the candy. That used to be my American dream. Is to just be the Halloween house. And so I'd always planned on, when I have a house, I'm going to start collecting or building, making my own things to support this. But then we moved way out in the country. And I don't have any little kids in the neighborhood, and I don't have any sidewalks. It's not a good trick-or-treat neighborhood, Amazing in like every other way, but they just don't do Halloween here. Really sad. So I've kind of had to shelf that for a little bit. So I don't go shopping for like spiders and bats and cobwebs and stuff like that. Nowadays, the focus is more on the inside of the house. I have a new dream bubbling in the back corners of my brain, and that is to live in a house where you walk in and you feel like you're in a spooky Victorian mansion or a creepy old farmhouse, and there's ghosts and ghoulies in the corners, you just don't see them yet. So what I do is on a consistent basis, on like a year round, this is a thing I'm always doing, is looking for like antique furniture and those cool old ornate antique photo frames and just little bits and pieces to incorporate into what I already have in my house, because eventually I would love to spookify the inside. Don't tell my husband. I would love to spookify the inside and make it feel like Halloween every day in my living room. I don't know if you can see it here, but look, this, where's it at? See this cabinet back here? This little curio cabinet? I'll take a picture of it and give it to you. I'll put it up here in a second. I found that on the side of the road the other day. I was so excited. Somebody got rid of it because, I don't know, it had some scratches on it. I just sanded it all down and restained it, and it's gorgeous. And now it's home to all my little bones and stuff, all my creepy little natural curios. Number 4, candy corn. Love it or hate it, love it. Love it, love it, love it so much. I love candy corn so much. Oh my gosh. I'm like the only person I know that loves candy corn. I didn't realize that was even a question though. They're like my favoriteest Halloween candy. Well, almost. I love candy corn, and I also really, really love the Reese's pumpkins. I don't know what they put in the seasonal Reese's shapes. Something special, probably drugs, but they taste so much better than the regular Reese's cups. So the Reese's pumpkins and the little Reese's bats are amazing. Question number 5. Are you big into costumes and dressing up for Halloween? If so, what's your favorite costume of all time? I love costumes. I love costumes. I love dressing up. I don't do it so much nowadays, only because I have never actually purchased a costume before. I always want to make it myself, and I just have not had the time or the energy the past couple of years to really devote to making something that I'd be happy with. So I haven't actually dressed up for Halloween in a good long while now, but I do love it. I love it. So what is my favorite costume of all time? I'm going to answer this 2 ways. favorite costume I have ever worn, and then favorite costume I've ever seen, because it's not really clear what the question wants. I guess they left it open-ended for funsies. The best costume I think I have ever made was Misty from Pokemon. A couple years ago, I had my hair cut real short and I had dyed it this bright coppery red color. So I cut off a yellow shirt and I had my little shorts and I found some red suspenders and I actually made myself a Starmie out of like cardboard and paper mache. And I found a like some shiny paper that I Mod Podged on for the gem in the center. And I had it in two halves and I put it all on a fidget spinner so I could spin the front of the Starmie around. And I was just so tickled. I was so pleased with myself for crafting this thing and it looks so good at the end. That's probably my favorite costume that I have personally made and worn. Now, my favorite costumes that I have ever seen are more of a general category. I love it. Like, it makes me shiver down in my bones when people alter the human frame somehow. When you have a costume where, like, the person's head or the person's face is in the torso of whatever they're trying to be, but they have a head that's like way up here somewhere. So they're super tall, like taller than a human should be. Or if they have the head that's coming out somehow. Or I love seeing people build those like animal legs, the ones that they dog leg back, you know? So it's not how a normal human walks. Their legs are actually up here somewhere and there's like their little stilts they extend on. But that kind of stuff looks so creepy when you see it walking up to you in the dark, in the dusk on Halloween evening. And I've never attempted to make something like that myself, but just having looked into it before I was like, oh, that looks awesome. I want to do one. No, I know I don't have that kind of time and dedication. So I have so much respect and admiration for the people that go through with building a creature like that. It's just my favorite thing to see ever. Question number 6. What is one activity or experience that is on your spooky season bucket list? I think, I don't have to think, actually, I know I do more activities in the fall than I do at any other time of the year. Autumn, fall is my favorite season. Spooky season is the greatest for me, and we have a list of stuff that we try to do every year. So we love going to the pumpkin patch. We love going on the hay rides. We love getting our pumpkin spice lattes. We already talked about haunted houses, and we love going to the haunted hay ride and stuff like that. The Historic Society in my town does a ghost walk through one of the cemeteries every year. We ticked that one off the list this past season. That was great. So let's see, things I haven't done yet. Okay, I got it. I had to think about it for a little bit because I had Halloween in my brain, but the question says spooky season bucket list. So my number one, I would love to visit Mexico for Dia de los Muertos. I would love to be really in any Latin country where they celebrate the Day of the Dead for November 1st and 2nd. These are customs that have fascinated me since I first heard about them when I was a teenager. And I hear that it's a hell of a time. I have been to the Day of the Dead parade in San Diego. That was a wonderful time. But to really be in the heart of that culture would be a completely different experience, I think. My husband has a family in Mexico as well. And I don't know if we know where they're buried. I'd have to dig into it really deeply, but no pun intended. I would have to do research, a lot of research to find out. But anyway, I think it would be really cool to find his family, visit their graves in the traditional way, bring the candles, bring the food, bring the booze, have music, all that fun stuff on the Day of the Dead. Question number 7. What book series or movie screams Halloween to you? I don't know if I know of any book series that are really like Halloween themed other than like Goosebumps. Goosebumps are good. They don't scream Halloween to me. As far as movies go, I love scary movies in general all year long. I love scary movies in general, any time of year. So I think the ones that say Halloween would have to be the ones that happen on Halloween. So my number 1, of course, would be Hocus Pocus. I know it's cheesy. I know it's like the typical answer, but I grew up watching it every Halloween. It was like a tradition in our house. So that puts me in that festive fall Halloween mood more than anything else, I think. Number 8, how do you typically spend your Halloween nights? Trick-or-treating, number 1. I have a child. I am a large child, and so I trick-or-treated myself as long as I possibly could. But nowadays I have a kid, and so we go trick-or-treating every year. It is a little trickier now. Like I said, we don't have the greatest neighborhood for it, so I got to drive to find us a nice place to go collect candies. But that's always on the schedule for Halloween. I also leave a door open for the dead. A lot of people believe that Halloween is the one night of the year when the spirits can walk freely and the spirits can roam the earth. And I'm kind of the mind that they don't need a special holiday for that. I'm pretty sure they're roaming the earth everywhere all the time. Pretty sure. I'm not an expert, but it's a hunch I have. Halloween is the day when I let the wandering dead into the house. Normally, they're not allowed in. The house is pretty well protected. So if you don't already live here, you can't come in. But I just imagine it's rough being basically homeless. And I know it's nice to have some place to go if you've been on the road for a while. So Halloween, I invite everybody in. I lay out food, I lay out drinks, I light the candles. I'll leave. I have like the little spirit box apps on my phone. I'll just kind of leave it sitting on the counter running in case anybody wants to say anything. Most of the time they don't, which is fine. But I kind of just make it hospitable, and then we go about our normal everyday. We have dinner, we hang out, whatever. It's just that they're allowed to come in with us. That's all. And then on the next couple days, on Dia de los Muertos and Dia de los Angelitos, I do the same thing. But that is more focused on, a squirrel. There's a squirrel under my pine tree. Y'all. That is more focused on family. The dead that are not wandering the earth, that maybe do come back to visit. They are invited in on those days. Okay, last question, number 9. What does Halloween mean to you? Halloween is a really nostalgic time for me. It takes me right back to being a little kid and being excited about having fun getting dressed up and going out trick-or-treating, because like we didn't have candy in the house growing up unless it was Halloween. You got to wander around after dark. You got to stay up after bedtime. Maybe you got a little scared. You got to hear some spooky stories. It just brings back a really childlike enthusiasm. I get really, really juiced up around Halloween. it also really stirs, really kicks up my imagination. It reminds me that there's stuff out there in the world that we still don't understand and that we still have to explore. You know, I know I just said like ghosts are everywhere all the time, but I think because of the prevalence of the stories and the media being very spooky and geared up towards ghost stories and mysteries and urban legends and things around Halloween, it's easier at that time of year to really wonder, you know? I don't know if I'm explaining this well at all. I'm sorry. Um, Halloween helps me believe again. You know, because sometimes I forget to. Actually, a lot of the time, I forget to. We get so bogged down with our humdrum little mundane lives and go buy groceries, go to work, sweep the floor, that like I forget there's other stuff out there, you know? Um, Halloween helps me believe in it again. All right, that is it. The whole tag. Hashtag halfway to Halloween. Now, for who to tag. I've just been staring at my list of people I subscribe to for like 10 minutes trying to figure out who I want to tag. Because it's pretty much 50-50. I have a lot of like little small channels, but I know a lot of them are kind of like not posting right now and I don't want to bother them. And the other half is like really big channels who are probably never ever going to see this anyway. So anyway, happy halfway to Halloween. You all have a wonderful day. Bye.